Well, good afternoon, Meridian. I'll tell you, it's an honor to join Vice President Harris today. You know, the Vice President has fought for cleaner, more equitable transportation solutions for years. And today is certainly a testimony, a testament to her long-standing dedication to this issue. So I want to say to the Vice President, Madam Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Congressman Beyer, it's good to see you and be with you in your district. I appreciate the partnership and your long-standing commitment to tackling climate change. And Congressman Connolly, so good you could be with us as well. Thank you for your leadership as co-chair of the Sustainable Energy and Environment Caucus. Virginia, obviously, is well represented. One of the most rewarding parts of my job is having the opportunity to meet with young people and hear about their hopes and their dreams and the future. Their passion is contagious, and it's also humbling. Because when I think about the work that we do at the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the decisions that we make every single day, I think first about this generation. Every aspect of the work that impacts them directly, whether it's talking about taking actions to stem the climate crisis, protecting our drinking water from pollution, or cleaning up the air that all of us breathe. That is a responsibility that we do not take lightly at the EPA. Improving the lives of children and young people all across this country is near and dear to my heart and to the mission of EPA. And I can tell you as a parent of an 8-year-old, I can assure you that there is no higher priority for me, personally and professionally, than ensuring that every child has the opportunity to lead a healthy life. That is what today is all about. You know, every day, millions of children ride the bus to and from school. It's a quintessential part of being a kid in America. But traditional vehicles that transport our students rely on internal combustion engines that emit toxic pollutants in the air. Not only are these pollutants harmful to the environment, but they can also be harmful to people's health. To children who ride the bus, to the bus drivers responsible for transporting our precious cargo, and to the surrounding communities. And so I'm proud that under President Biden and Vice President Harris's leadership, we're moving forward to transition and reach a zero-emissions future sooner than many thought was possible. Today, I'm excited to announce that we are making a historic $500 million available to accelerate this awesome transition. You know, this funding is made possible by the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, which invests an unprecedented $5 billion, billion with a B, for low and zero emission school buses over the next 5 years. I encourage all potential funding recipients to visit epa.gov/clean school bus, which features a number of tools to assist prospective applicants with funding requests as schools move to electrify their fleets. Given this administration's commitment to advancing environmental justice and EPA's long-standing dedication to supporting underserved communities, we will prioritize the applications for communities that have long been shut out from federal funding. Folks, this is a once-in-a-generation investment that will transform how millions of children get to and from school. It will clean the air we breathe, protect people's health, and help tackle the climate crisis. And at the same time, it will help spur job creation in communities all across the country, good-paying jobs in American manufacturing. These efforts will help build a better America by sending a strong signal to our industry and our communities that zero-emission vehicles, they are the future. And even more importantly, our children are the future. And after meeting with these young, outstanding students today, it's clear that we old folks are in good hands. So folks, mark my words. Zero-emission school buses can and one day will be the American standard. I'm so optimistic about what's ahead. And now it's time for all of us to hit that accelerator. And now it's my pleasure to turn it over to one of those young rising stars, Marissa Solatino, an 8th grade student who is passionate about the environment. I'll let her tell you all about the work she's doing to help make her community healthier as well as for herself, her classmates, and future students. Marisa, the stage is yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Marisa Sotolino and I'm an 8th grade student at Mary Ellen Henderson Middle School. My passion for sustainability has come from a variety of experiences and people. I want to give a special shout out to my parents, my mom who's a garden fanatic, and my dad who works at an environmental nonprofit. I have a lot to thank them for. Last October, my best friend Catalina Holiday, and I began growing fresh fruits and vegetables at our school. We will soon begin donating this fresh produce to our local shelters and soup kitchens. Not only do we want to help feed our community, but we also want to help reduce plastic waste, as plastic is often used for store-bought packaging. Preserving our planet is important to me and to the generations of students who will come after me. I'm excited to know our school will receive electric school buses this summer, which will help reduce air pollution. In parts of the country, students are exposed to higher levels of polluted air, and all kids deserve clean air to breathe. I'm grateful to my teachers and my school community for providing me and many others the opportunity to grow. Thank you to Vice President Harris and Administrator Regan on behalf of my students, of my classmates. It means the world to us to know you both came here today and are willing to listen and learn from all of us young leaders. I will now turn things over to the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good. How about Marisa? Well done. Have a seat. Have a seat. It's what a joy it's been to be with all of you this afternoon on this beautiful campus with these incredible young leaders, so many of whom we met before I walked into here just now. And Marisa, you're one of them. I say to the administrator, when we meet the young leaders like we were with this afternoon, I know the future of our nation is bright, and I feel so very optimistic. So thank you for that, and to all the administrators and teachers and coaches and parents who are just raising these beautiful leaders. And today, so we are joined with a bunch of folks who are, of course, dedicated to building a future for all our communities. The administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Michael Regan, who is a friend, who is a colleague, who is a national and an international leader on these issues. Mitch Landrieu, who is here, who is our infrastructure coordinator and has been doing some of the real detailed work of making sure that everything the president has had as a vision about the bipartisan infrastructure law actually hits the streets and gets to places like right here where we are. Congressman Don Beyer, there you are. It's great to be in your district. Jerry Connolly, thank you for your leadership. A neighboring district, he said, I'm going to kind of try and own this district too. But it's great to be with both of you because I definitely do see you in the halls of Congress working every day for the people of this beautiful state. So thank you both for your leadership. And of course, the National Education Association President, Becky Pringle, thank you for your leadership. And to all the teachers, just such noble and important work that you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not in my notes, but I'll tell you, just on a personal level, my first grade teacher, Mrs. Frances Wilson, God rest her soul, attended my law school graduation. I love our teachers. I love our teachers. I love our teachers. So to everyone here, including all the locally elected officials, thank you. And of course, we should acknowledge all the folks who are here who work so hard to make the students of our nation thrive. And again, as I mentioned, it's the teachers, it's the administrators, it's the staff members, it's the bus drivers, it's the folks who work in the cafeteria, it's the counselors, it's everyone who is part of this incredible ecosystem of education. So we are deeply grateful to all of you. I know we have a number of students today as well. Let's see all the students who are here. There you There we are. So congratulations to you and your classmates on getting close to finishing up the school year. You made it. So the president and I, and many of the adults gathered here, well, we are working hard, all of us, together, to make sure that every one of the children in our nation, all of these students, that they have the opportunity, that they have the resources to live up to their extraordinary potential. And we know the potential is there. The question for us as leaders and the adults is whether we are putting the resources and the priorities into allowing our children to thrive. And so I think about this subject of our yellow school buses in that regard. Because think about it, yellow school buses are our nation's largest form of mass transit. How about that? Every day, so yes, and let's applaud, because it gets them where they need to go. And every day, then think about this in terms of the numbers. Every day in our country, more than 25 million children ride to and from school on our nation's fleet of school buses every day. And 95% of our nearly 500,000 school buses, now here's the point, run on diesel fuel. Diesel exhaust is a poison. Breathing diesel fumes can cause headaches and nausea. It can worsen asthma and chronic bronchitis. It can even elevate the risk of cancer. If your child rides the bus half an hour to school and half an hour back every day from the first day of kindergarten to high school graduation, they will experience the equivalent of 90 full days of exposure to diesel exhaust. And these fumes do not just threaten the health of our children, they also threaten the future of our planet. Diesel exhaust is a greenhouse gas. And every year, our nation's fleet of school buses adds millions of tons of carbon dioxide to our atmosphere. Yet for far too long, the danger posed by diesel school buses to our planet and to our children has not received the attention it deserves. And that is why your voices, all of you here, why your voices have been so important. Because here today, we have a number of activists and advocates, including many parents, who have spoken out about this problem for years, at school board meetings, at congressional hearings, at cookouts and block parties. And you have demanded action. You have demanded a solution. Electric school buses is a big part of that. Because you see, electric buses, they don't produce tailpipe emissions. What's the point there? Well, tailpipe emissions irritate the nose and eyes. They increase susceptibility to respiratory illness and accelerate our climate crisis. And this afternoon, we had, many of us, the administrator and a number of us, the opportunity to be inside of an electric school bus. And it was fantastic. The press actually rode on an electric school bus, just so you know. So I think they got the real inside feeling for what this means, right? And so what we all experienced is on an electric school bus, on an electric bus, no exhaust, no diesel smell. I just met a young leader, V, who was talking about everything that she can smell and what she knows in terms of the smell of pollution. And you know how you usually have to raise your voice to be heard when you're on an idling bus? This bus ran quiet. Now, I've spoken to a number of drivers, for example, who have recently switched to electric buses, and they stressed the importance of a quiet engine, which is much bigger than just you can have a conversation and hear each other. It helps the drivers hear the road, which of course helps keep our children safer. Electric school buses are also safer for our children's health and a more sustainable planet. And electric school bus manufacturing creates good jobs here in America. That is why, for years, I have fought to invest in electric buses. And as a United States Senator, I introduced the first bill to invest exclusively in zero-emission school buses. We called it the Clean School Bus Act. Worked a lot of miles. And as Vice President, I've worked closely with our partners in Congress, these two congressmen in particular, during the drafting of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law to make sure that our nation prioritizes this work as what we know is connected to the health and well-being of our children, their education, and also what we can do to see the future in terms of innovation and manufacturing right here in the United States. And so today, as you've heard from the administrator, we are announcing $500 million in clean bus funding to go to schools across the country. Starting today, every school district in our nation can apply for funding to purchase clean buses and to build the charging infrastructure that we need to build across our country. Yeah. So this funding is just the first part of the $5 billion we will invest in clean school buses over the next 5 years through the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. $5 billion in 5 years. This investment, we believe, will be transformative for so many people. Transformative for the parents of children with asthma and other respiratory illnesses who will soon be able to walk their child to the bus stop without worrying that the diesel fumes could trigger an asthma attack. For those of us who have had to take a child to the emergency room because of asthma, we know what that fear feels like, what it means. Transformative for the teachers working bus duty who will no longer have to stand in a cloud of exhaust while they're saying goodbye to their students. I heard the teachers. Transformative for the school districts that will be able to use the money that they would have had to spend filling up the buses with gas to instead hire more teachers, to raise salaries, or to renovate classrooms. And renovate those classrooms, not at this school, but at many schools around the country that are in desperate need of repair. And this investment will be transformative also for the workers of our nation. It will create good-paying jobs in communities across our nation. You know, today, already, thousands of American workers are doing this work. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. It's the work of building the frames and the batteries and the tires for these buses. Highly skilled work. Highly trained individuals doing this work right here at home. In fact, last year I visited the Thomas Built Buses factory in North Carolina and talked with members of United Auto Workers, Local 5287, who built the bus that I just was on. I toured their factory floor and spoke to electricians and engineers and machinists and mechanics. And we talked about what we're all talking about right now. Electric school buses and electric vehicles in general are the future. You know, I've been, among the many things that I do as vice president, meeting with world leaders. I was just earlier today on a call with President Macron of France. Earlier this week, I was in the United Arab Emirates. The president and I just hosted the president of Finland and the prime minister of Sweden. One of the things that we talk about often, with pride about who we are as America, is we really do think about the future. And how can we be smart in investing in the future? And one of the things that I love about this issue and what you all are doing here in this community is it is about an investment in the future, knowing, one, that when we invest in our children, we're investing in the future. And when we invest in innovation, when we invest in the future of America's workforce, when we invest in building the skills of America's workforce, we are investing in the future. These things are all connected. But the future is not inevitable. We have to build it together. We have to do this together. And so let us continue to do what we are doing, and on this very subject, create a future in which every school bus in our nation is zero emission. I know that we all know this will be a safer and a healthier future for every child in every community. So thank you all again for what you have done and what you will continue to do. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Thank you all.